What's going on, YouTube? Culturedog Sam Hatch back here with another video of LDs. These are still from the last quarter of 2019, stuff I'd been meaning to show you guys, but I just didn't get around to. Maybe outside some of these I showed in some live streams, and sorry I haven't been live streaming lately. I got to get back on the stick with that, but it's been a bad couple weeks in particular, so I'm excited to be able to hang out here and talk about LaserDiscs with y'all. Right, let's get right into it. This one I picked up from my local LaserDisc, my local record watering hole. They don't usually specialize in LaserDiscs, but you know, record stores usually get some in their collection randomly, and the shop owner didn't really know what to do with it, so he gave me a great price on it, and I figured why not. It's a little shelf worn, some ringware, but Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth. Definitely a misfire of a movie, so it's not something I hold near and dear, but I can tolerate it, and I kind of love it for the 90s-ness of it, and the start of the whole kind of North Carolina independent film boom. Fits in nicely with The Crow, things like that. But yeah, it's a hot mess, but it's the unrated edition, and I do have the Arrow release, the Scarlet box, but the Scarlet box actually takes the LaserDisc source and mixes it in with the high def regular material that they had for the box, the Blu-ray box, and I just wish they had left it like in its standard definition LaserDisc form for the whole running time of the unrated edition, because then, I don't know, it's just kind of fake when it kind of bounces back and forth between the letterboxed and the 4:3 edition, but yeah, what are you going to do? So back in, this is how far back it's been, back in Retro World Expo days, I did hit a vendor who had a bin or two of LDs, and some of them were a little pricey, but some were priced reasonably, so I grabbed, maybe 6 or so, and this one was sealed, and it's A Time to Kill. So haven't gotten around to watch. I think I did a rot spot check, but I haven't actually watched it yet. So, but the price was right, and it's funny. I just gotten a Black Sheep in the lot previous, so this was Tommy Boy, and it was sealed. So I figured I'd grab that widescreen edition. So I got more Farley Spade for the collection. This was a little beat up, but the price was really good, so I figured I'd tactically get it. This used to be a rental copy, actually, so it's, stress fractures galore all over the jacket, etc. But it's a known rotter, and it's a great film. I saw it multiple times in the theaters. Gross Point Blank, one of my favorite John Cusack films, and I figured I would go for it because even though the jacket's a little beat up, I can always find another jacket. If the disc is unrotted, then it's a worthy investment. And I watched it all through, and it wasn't fine. There was like a little bit of rot, but if I play it on one of my players that tolerates rot really well, you don't even notice it unless you freeze frame. So yeah, looks good. So I'll get on the hunt for a better jacket at some point, but it was worth pulling the trigger. I think it was like $5 or something like that, so no big deal. This one's pretty minty. I've got the Blu-ray, but it was cool flick, and it was Dolby Digital, bam. James Mangold's Copland, cool flick. So yeah, I had to grab that, and this is one of my favorite films of all time. And I figured I'd upgrade my VHS copy, and I'm still going to keep my VHS copy. It's just basically I'm going to get it on every version, though I don't think I have it on DVD. But there's a nice Shout Factory release recently, but. This came out in 1988, this pressing. 3 o'clock high. Shout out to Maxine, the LaserDisc Queen. She knows how awesome this flick is. So, love it. Awesome stuff. Great Tangerine Dream music in there. Casey Shmasko is too cool. Yeah, it's one of my favorite 80s school flicks. And I just picked up the sequel to this from Vincent Onderati. Shout out to Vincent. Like shortly before Retro World, so I figured when I tripped across this and it was in good shape, I would get it, because I don't know why I didn't have it yet. The director's cut of Scream, little LaserDisc exclusive. Everybody's already got a copy of this but me, so now I have one too. I don't have the DTS versions of any of them, and I don't have Scream 3 on LD, which is a little bit of a late release price tie. So that was it for the Retro World stuff. Then I got a bunch of mystery boxes. from the one, the only Luke Sincata. So Luke hooked me up with a bunch of just random 90s movies he thought I might be interested in, and some stuff he definitely knew I'd be interested in. So we'll get to those. A Japanese pressing of the Basketball Diaries, which is nice because the Polygram USA pressing is notorious for rot. So that's just a nice release. Flick I remember hearing a lot about when it came out of the theaters. I almost went to go see it at my local art house, but I never did. But Mary Herron's I Shot Andy Warhol with Lily Taylor. So I can finally check that out. Now, what better way to watch a 90s indie flick for the first time than on LaserDisc? Likewise, I'd never seen this Nick Cassavetes film. And apparently it's written by John Cassavetes, so I'll have to check it out. Sean Penn and Robin Wright Penn and John Travolta, and the pinkest LaserDisc I think I own. She's so lovely. The jacket's pink, and then the Obi's even pinker. So yeah, I can peep that. And no, it's not a live Soundgarden release, but it is Feelin' Minnesota, which I've never seen. So now I can likewise peep that. Who did this? Steve Bakelman wrote and directed. This I was psyched about. I really like this flick, and of course, yeah, I'm a sucker for anything Tarantino, but this is Tarantino working with Robert Rodriguez and Alexander Rockwell and Allison Anders, and the original script makes way more sense, but the less famous filmmakers had their segments cut to shreds to make room for Tarantino's big beefy segment, but still, cover art is magnificent. 4 rooms. Saw this 2 times in the theaters. I think I'm the only person that saw it twice in the theaters. Ted the Bellhop, he's my boy. Someday, a nice director's cut or version with all the extras around there. I actually had a friend that worked interned at Miramax shortly after that came out, and he liberated a bunch of dailies, and we just sat around watching dailies all night once. It was weird. That never happened. I was psyched also because Luke knew I was a Twin Peaks fan, and I've never gotten around to picking up any of the Twin Peaks Japanese releases. So he hooked me up with the pilot. Killer. Gorgeous stuff, complete with Obi strip. And why stop there? He hooked me up with Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me as well. Real striking cover there. It's a gatefold, but I'm feeling lazy. I'm not going to take it out. Maybe I'll do a special video on them. So I guess now that this I've broken the seal on the Japanese Twin Peaks LaserDisc, that means I got to get more and start getting into the box sets and all that stuff. One other, everybody seems to have this in their collection, but I never picked it up. It's not widescreen or anything, but it's a trip just because it's Gorilla. It's a raw deal, but in Japan it was Gorilla, and it's just fun. Arnold Schwarzenegger action. You should never drink and bake. Or get mudded and mutilated. Yeah, love it. So that was cool. One of my other favorite films, I saw this 4 times in the theater, I want to say. One of my favorite Joel Schumacher films. There's 3 films of his I really like, and then, yeah. I won't talk about that. Falling Down. Love it. Michael Douglas is amazing in it. Everybody's Duvall's amazing in it. Rachel Tickerton's amazing in it. Awesome stuff. So, a nice Japanese release. And this had been something I've been meaning to pick up from, maybe the Good Squid or something, just for the cover art, because it's so cool. And it's another Polygram release here in the States that's prone to rot. Fargo. Love that jacket art. It's great. So, yeah, Luke really came through. And then months later, he reached out and said he had picked up a couple things that he knew I would be, or he was going to pick them up. I wanted to know if I definitely wanted him to pull the trigger on it because he knew I was interested in this anime series. So, they're a little pre-loved, but that's fine with me. He grabbed me the box of Space Adventure Cobra, the movie. Love that artwork. Killer stuff. Which has some bonus action in here. I'll show you in a second. and that was the other nice thing. I actually have had some, boxes where it's missing all the fun things and all that. So this has, again, killer artwork. The booklet. And that's the back side. And here is the interior. And the sweet piece of foam that houses the background music on a little slimline CD. So that was still in there, which was awesome. And then we haven't even gotten to the movie yet, so that's split up. More killer artwork. I just love the design of these. Like the jagged design and the killer artwork on top of it. Volume 1. I do have the single disc release as well. So this is just a nice addition to the Cobra pile. And Volume 2. So yeah, that was awesome. Much appreciate Luke looking out. And since that train already left the station, let's keep going. He also grabbed me a copy of the Space Adventure Cobra Perfect Collection, which I had an edition of this already, but it was missing all the fun stuff, and it was missing disc 5. So this box is a little bit more beat, maybe, so I can combine them to make the Ultimate Edition. It's a little more faded too, but yeah, it's an awesome box. Let's check it out. It's a box within a box. The exterior of the interior box is just black, 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 none more black. But let's slide these goodies out. Bam. So we got a big ass booklet. Pretty hefty. And inside, it's like a little sheet that's been used up quite a bit, but some information on there. Also has some badass stickers. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Probably just leave them on the sheet, but that would be pretty cool to do something with them. But I can't really go through the whole freaking book, but it's pretty cool. And these guys are all still in the plastic. But Volume 1 and Volume 2. Volume 3, still for Awkward Pose. It's great. So yeah, good stuff. Volume 4, Butt Cheeks. The elusive Volume 5. This makes me want to rub his eyes right now. So now I have that. Awesome. Volume 6. And 7. And finally, the 8th disc. Badass stuff. I love me some Space Adventure Cobra. So Luke is the man for hooking it up. Keeping an eye out for me so I can grab those beasts. That's about it for now. I've got 2 more boxes that should be arriving shortly. So by the time I get these videos on air, they should have arrived so I can film another video and then have part 3 running. So it should be seamless for you guys. You won't even notice there was a gap there. I don't even know what's in it. It's going to be another mystery box. I know one thing that's in it, so I'm excited about that. And then it's going to be all mysterious from there on out. We're gonna find out. So we'll be back.
We'll be back.
All right, so my boxes from Luke came in, so I figured let's just throw these on. It's the night after the previous recording, so I figured we'll just throw these on at the end. There's only actually one LaserDisc. He fooled me. The mystery boxes actually had some other stuff. Well, one thing I knew, and that is a sweet, tasty 1988, if I remember correctly, release of Legend, and this is the European cut with Jerry Goldsmith music. It's not the director's cut that was later put on DVD, but it's got more scenes than the US cut, and I love this artwork. It's gorgeous stuff. Luke is notoriously not a fan of Legend, so I'm surprised he didn't break this over his knee before he sent it to me, but yeah, he tripped across it and said, hey, do you want this? And I actually don't have the later Warner releases either. There was a rental release and a regular, consumer release. But those and this are all, of course, pan and scan, except for the opening credits, which are letterboxed, and I believe the end credits are as well. But yeah, it's a real fun release. And again, I can't have too many copies of Legend. It's got the Obi, and it's got a little insert too. A lot of the Japanese discs do. So here we got a little bit of information there. So that was cool. I've been looking for this for quite some time. So he grabbed it for me and hustled it my way. But yeah, the other mystery box had some non-LaserDisc related stuff, but I'll show you guys anyways because there's some sort of connection here. I got a couple DVDs. I assume this is a copy of Mr. T, Be Somebody or Be Somebody's Fool. So I'll have to watch that and learn some life lessons. And the other one is what I'm assuming is Dark Side of Oz, Wizard of Oz paired with Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. So that was fun. And got a couple of VHS tapes. So we're going to break free here. I got this little snipping from a manga. The hero has been his writing has been crossed off, so there's a new word balloon that says, I need these as far away from me as possible. So that was awesome. So yes, I mentioned before, Luke is not a fan of Legend, so he sent me a copy of Legend on VHS. This is actually the US MCA Universal Edition, which I didn't have. I do have a pile of Legend VHS tapes, but I don't have this guy. Well, I do now, so that was cool. And the other one, I'd totally forgotten he didn't like this movie either, and this is awesome. It didn't even come out apparently until 1999 in Japan. But yeah, awesome clamshell release of Gattaca. Everything about this is cool. It's got, killer insert on the clamshell, and then on the inside, it's got some little postcard bonuses with some Gattaca art. Probably can't see these that well, but pretty badass. And then the inside of the case has some badass artwork. And then the tape itself has a sick label and Gattaca on the edge there. So yeah, nice release. So that was wicked cool. So cheers to Luke for making this little pile happen. And I already watched the Legend LaserDisc tonight while I was getting home from work and prepping some of this stuff. So very cool. And I'll get some more LaserDiscs and do another update video hopefully sometime soon. Hopefully you guys had fun with these last two updates, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers!
Butt cheeks.